of the university is educating minds and hearts to change the world. And frankly, I think there's no better program that does that than our master's program in International and Development Economics.
I was looking for a program that got into, kind of a little bit more technical in the economics and stuff like that. And so USF just seemed to be a great fit with its overseas field research project, and then also with professors with just great research interests of their own. And so that's kind of what led me to look into USF and eventually come into this program.
So when students come into the program, they take a number of required courses that include master's level microeconomics, macroeconomics, mathematical economics, and 3 econometrics courses. And the reason we have so many econometrics courses is because we really want our students to graduate with hard research skills, skills that they can't get just through experience on a job or learning on their own. And so what we hope to produce when they graduate is somebody that has empirical skills that are almost equivalent to somebody with a PhD in economics. And this makes somebody employable in working for an international development institution that's engaged in research, for the World Bank, the IMF, so people are going to have all the skills they need for that kind of job. Unlike a program that is less quantitative and less empirically rigorous, which doesn't really impart those skills to students. That's our niche, is in training excellent researchers.
I did not have an economics background from college. I, in fact, did not take an economics course. I was a math and Spanish double major, and I found out about the USF IDEC program, and it seemed like a really interesting way for me to combine my 2 interests in math and more quantitative analysis with an interest in international cultures and travel and topics of development.
The master's program in International and Development Economics here isn't an international studies degree. We're not just talking about concepts related to globalization. We're not training students necessarily to be activists. We're training them to be economists that want to be involved in understanding policies and programs that help poor people. That's our purpose here.
I haven't had as much economics background. I'm in a couple undergraduate courses, but then also international trade and the economics of development, 2 graduate courses. And so far I've learned a ton about development and just international economics in general. And I've really enjoyed the classes, and it's been great. The professors are great, and the subject material too.
In comparison to other economics programs, I think our program is distinctive first in that we require field research overseas. This is an integral part of the program that we support with faculty being overseas with students, and we put a lot of resources and money into this part of our program to give students that overseas research experience where they collect data that they may use in their master's thesis. And then also in the number of classes that we require in empirical methods to analyze that data that they've often had a hand in collecting themselves. So many PhD programs require only 2 semesters of econometrics. Many master's programs only require 1 semester of econometrics. Our students take 3, and so our program's been gaining a lot of respect by other programs just because our students receive so much training in this area. They come out many times with better empirical skills than some people from PhD programs.
What's also great is that they bring in a lot of other speakers to kind of show us about their research and what they're doing in the field. And we've had ones on water projects in different countries, on fertilizer use in developing countries, and it's just fascinating to see what these other professors at different schools are doing in their work.
The program is a 2-year program, and I think the main strength is that it gives the students an opportunity to think about a project, formulate a way to test a main hypothesis, and then it gives them the great opportunity to go in the field and collect the data themselves to analyze the project, and then in the second year spend a lot of their time analyzing the project. And I think this is a very fulfilling way to look at a project, to actually collect data.
I've already gotten onto a team that will be going to Rwanda this summer to study the impacts of microfinance in Rwanda. And so we'll be looking at, you know, whether it's been successful, how it can be more successful, and just different aspects of it. So that's going to be one of the more exciting parts of this program, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Really, the students, when they come back from the field, are very, very different from the moment when they actually left for the field. And I find them very mature, and I think it's a great experience, and I don't think such opportunity for an experience like this repeats itself very often, because even when you do a PhD, you're under much more pressure to actually produce an article or work for some professor, and you don't have the kind of freedom that I think the students here have when they go in the field.
Last summer we did a we did a research project in the highlands of Guatemala, which is a place where I have an NGO, a non-government organization that I run with some other people, and we decided to do a randomized encouragement to attend a health seminar in order to ascertain the impacts of the health seminar. So this village had 350 households, and we randomly invited 200 of these households to attend the health seminar, and it was great. You know, we would go out and just randomly hand out. I mean, we did it in an organized way, but we randomly invited different neighborhoods to come to this seminar, and in the morning we were when the seminar was happening, we wondered if anybody would come, and it was to start at 9 a.m. that morning, and at 9 a.m., a little bit after, all of a sudden we saw all these women walking over the hills in their beautiful Mayan dress, and just dozens and dozens of women came to hear this health seminar, and it really made the students and I happy, because here, you know, we're doing something, we're trying to figure out the impact of this health seminar, but these women are learning about, we're learning about how diseases spread, how to deliver a baby when there's no doctor, the importance of nutrition and a balanced diet. So they're learning important things, and I think the seminar would have been worth it in and of itself to do. But the fact that we were going to obtain valuable research from the seminar, I think, made it even more rewarding.
We're going to have a class in the spring, which is the graduate seminar, which is by far my favorite class to teach, in which all these ideas, all this data and regression take shape and become a paper. In graduate seminar, students meet every week to present what they have so far, and the other students are reading their fellow students' drafts and constantly give inputs, ideas, suggestions, until by the end of the semester we go from a very rough draft to a very nicely written paper in economics. It's not uncommon for students to present this paper their paper at conferences. It is not uncommon to publish papers together with their faculty. These are very high quality economic products.
Yeah, the faculty at USF, they were all just really great people. I mean, you really feel like you're interacting with them not only as your professor and I'm a student, but also as colleagues and potential collaborators, and they're really supportive of your ideas and field work, and they try to help you out, and you get a feeling of, you know, some personal involvement with their research, and also with, you know, everybody's there to try to educate but also make the world a better place, and that's kind of a cool program for that reason. So
my courses are basically in international economics. That's my main specialization. International economics, meaning international trade and international finance. And I see that the two need to be combined, because one cannot really understand the one without the other. In order to understand such things as global economic issues, global economic imbalances, our relationship, let's say, with China, our relationship with the developing countries, capital flows, trade flows, all of that is really one integrated whole.
IDEC is supposed to be International Development Economics. So that means students not only want to know the individual firms' decision makings, but also want to know how this will apply to international and the whole nation development situation.
The students, the fellow students have been great. We all have the common interest of development, but also, get along outside of the classroom a lot as well. We've formed an intramural soccer team. We're not so good, but we're there. And there's always something fun to do outside of school in San Francisco. It's a great city, and there's tons to do outside, in the surrounding areas as well. So, yeah, we've really just enjoyed our experience here so far.
Many field practitioners, after hearing what our students are learning, what our students can do, were extremely interested in offering internship position, research assistant position, and just take them along in the field, working with them, working in well-established long-term research project. And learning-wise, nothing really beats being there, being in the field, get your hands dirty into producing data that is going to tell us something meaningful about an important research question.
There's a conference that's held in California every year called the Pacific Conference for Development Economics, and it's a conference where PhD students from all the major research universities on the West Coast present their papers, as well as faculty, assistant professors, full professors, and I'm amazed at how well our students do. We had some students this year that I thought presented some of the best papers I saw at the conference, and I was really proud at what they did. I would say that students that graduate fall into several main areas. About 40% of our students, or maybe half, are international students from everywhere, from Africa, Asia, Latin America. A lot of those students go back and they often take jobs at either universities, because often you can teach at a foreign university with a master's degree in the U.S. They'll often work for domestic consulting firms, or work in government ministries, or as a go-between between like a consulting firm and a contracting agency like the World Bank or Inter-American Development Bank. So a lot of the international students tend to pursue that direction when they go back home. A lot of our American students will either go on for PhDs, so we have about maybe 20 to 25% of our class each year will go on for a PhD almost immediately after our program. Even more will eventually get a PhD later. And another big group of them will work for development institutions themselves. So we're either training very practitioner-oriented researchers or very research-oriented practitioners for a program.
One of the greatest joy of my job is actually staying in contact with the students that have finished the program, and they are now working in the most exotic location on the globe. We had students working in Paris, as well as students working in the middle of the nowhere of a forest in Kenya. And just talking to them and seeing what they are doing and how meaningful is their job, and knowing that what they have learned here, they can apply right away. They become, after this master program, economists that you can send anywhere in the world, and they will be able to do what they are supposed to do. They'll be able to do impact evaluation, they'll be able to set up a survey, they'll be able to run an experiment if via survey you cannot get that particular data. They will be able to analyze the data, they will be able to write a paper, they will be able to present the paper and prepare a very nice presentation. They'll be able to talk with other economists, and they will be able to talk with non-economists, with people in the field.